having a really good relationship with the coaches and with all the girls.
Right.
I off my how I played, I should have been delisted for sure. Like I did not perform until the season before last, where I was injured, but I shot in that Freo game. I showed a bit of this year in that Freo game, but I wasn't fit because I hadn't
done anything much.
I was injured for 5 weeks before that, so I struggled to run out the game, but I showed a bit, you know what I mean? And then, so I was all sweet. But yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that they gave me a chance and they held on. But that's not going to happen anymore either. As in, if you underperform for 3 years, they're going to get rid of you because the girls coming through are bloody good. I was bloody lucky to keep going because we were still in the infancy of it. And there was not a lot of great footy being played, and I was still a young'un that was maybe showing a bit in training and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I should have been delisted for sure. But it was completely up to me and getting myself fit and learning how to treat my body and what I needed to perform.
Did you feel like at the time though you felt like you should have been delisted, or do you only know that now because you've come so far?
I went into every post-season meeting thinking I'm in trouble here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even back then?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and they tell you right then and there, we're going to offer you a year. You could only get 1 year contracts back then. Mm-hmm. So, but I would go into everyone being this could go either way. And then, and then I got 2 years, the year that I got injured and only played the one game, I'd signed for 2 years that off season before. So I was safe for this year, and I was out of contract at the end of this year. So, but yeah, I went in being oh no, this is nervous as hell. I was never a certainty, and I was never a certainty for games. Even
even if you were fit,
100%. I didn't every game until last year. I didn't think I was going to get picked for games. I didn't think I was going to get selected, and then obviously injury, didn't get selected through injury, but then got selected as soon as I was able, and then injured myself again. But this is the first year that I've gone oh no, I'll be in this week. I've done enough to keep my spot.
You said earlier on at the start as well, at the start of the podcast, you said you've tasted that, how good you are now and how much work you've put in to get so far. Do you feel like you're going to have to double that to get better, or do you feel like you have to just ticking the things off?
I think hopefully I keep going on the up, and obviously I'm little setback with the wrist and that, strength wise, there's only so much you can do, and so I'm gonna have to build that up again, which is what I've got you for, mate. So I'll have to build on that again, but yeah, that's up to me. I think every year your base fitness goes up. I found pre-season easier this year, and I'm probably going to find it easier next year, as long as I'm doing work in the off season. But because I think every pre-season you get a bit more used to the workload and what you're doing.
Yep.
But yeah, I think, I don't know. The challenge for me will be that now that's expected of me. I haven't had any expectations. I haven't had anyone expect anything from me in previous years. Mm-hmm. So I haven't had pressure. The only pressure I've had is what I've been put on myself. Now there's going to be an expectation on me, and I'm going to have to deliver week in, week out. So that's going to be my next challenge, and that's going to be what I'm going to work towards.
Have you thought about how you're going to cope, or how you're going to kind of go about?
No, if I do the work, I believe that I can play to the same standard, hopefully better than I did this year. So I just know that it's literally up to me and doing the work. So see what happens.
Doing the work.
Yeah, that's it.
Can't cut
Put in the
corners,
work. Yeah, exactly. So,
do you have, outside of the team, Collingwood itself, do you have a kind of player you look up to or model your game on a little bit?
I've always loved Chelsea Randall.
Yeah.
Always. Even when I played her in that grand final, I was rucking against her in that grand final.
You were rucking?
Yeah. I was rucking against her in that grand final.
She was rucking as well?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
We were just two,
Was that
two
her position?
shorties that could jump. That's what it was. I always loved the way she went about it. And even now she's just a gun. She's an absolute freak. And as a half back, like I look at her and I go, she is who I want to play like. And then
she has some slick skills as well.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
She's just an athlete, absolute athlete, but just reads the ball very well. A very smart player. And like that, that runoff is what I try to bring to my game. And like for the men's, like Darcy Moore.
Yep.
Obviously, seeing how he goes about it. That would be the two that I sort of look to and I go, I'd like to take pieces from their game to make my own.
We talk about the footy smarts and all that. Do you look, obviously you have game vision and that, do you kind of analyse in certain situations where you could have done better we go
through match edits after games. So we had Jordan Ruffhead is our backline coach who plays for the men's.
Yep.
Right. And so he's awesome. Like he's like, if you don't want to go through edits, you don't have to. But if you can, come find me. And so he, like a lot of coaches will be like, all right, you're up. Like, let's go through this. But he's like, we can watch as much or as little as you want. If you want feedback, come find me. If you don't, if you know what you're doing, all good. Like he very much puts trust in us, which is really good. And I think also what makes us a very good backline is, when your backline coach completely trusts you, you can definitely feel that out there as well. But yeah, so I would usually go to him for feedback. We have a really good relationship. So yeah, and I
do you feel it's beneficial? Like sometimes the people who don't really like watching vision, they get it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of. Yeah. Do you feel like the more you watch, the less it's effective, or do you feel more?
I think there's always more to learn. Like there's always something, when you've messed up, and they're the hard ones to watch. You literally watch and you're like cringe. You don't even want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's always more to learn. It's you sort of.
Yeah.
I know you like to look at your good stuff, but the bad, where you cocked up is the stuff that you need to be looking at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always
that's true.
Good to see.
Yeah.
I think in the back line, it's important, like positioning wise and stuff like that. In the midfield and forward line, that's where it comes down to more structure, because they've got to work for their, like in the back line, you've got two jobs: shut down your man, don't let them score. You know what I mean? They're gonna dictate where you're going on the field. All you can do is try and beat them to that spot.
Yeah.
And so we have structure and we do stick to that, but we have freedom to go out of that to get the footy. In the midfield and the forward line, they have to create for themselves. You know what I mean? We don't have to create. Ball come, see ball, get it out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like forward line and midfield, they have to create and try and beat what the other team are doing. So for them, I think it's a lot more crucial that they go over it, because then they can see, all right. And for them as well, I mean, like I've made it, previous years I would look at my opponent, whoever I'm going to be lining up on that game, I would look at their edits and see how they play. I've stopped doing that.
You've stopped them.
Yeah, I don't because I go, all right, I know, I'll make sure I know, all right, they're a left footer, they like to lead up with the ball, or they like to be a little crummer front and centre. I like to know little dot points, but I won't go through their vision, because I'm like, all right, what can I do? I'm not focusing on what they can do. What can I do to beat them? What are my strengths? And that has been a big difference, because I think I used to psych myself out.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's.
And I'm a confidence player, so if I'm psyched out, I'm off.
Yeah, because if you see someone tearing it up on their highlights, holy shit!
If I looked up Darcy Vessio's highlights before I played her, I probably would have shat myself. So
yeah, you would have there shaking on the couch.
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
Of your worries,
Yeah, that's not something I do anymore. I go, right, I'm playing on her. What am I going to do?
Yeah, right. Fascinating. That's such, because there's so many different schools of thought when it comes to vision and kind of improving your football knowledge as well. So a lot of behind the ground footage.
Yeah, you get all your, like, they have different angles of the game, so you can see, you know, behind the goals footage, so you can see the entire field structure if you are where you're meant to be, and then like, you know, how the TV videoed it and stuff.
Do you like watching the TV angle like they do it?
Yeah, I rewatch every game anyway.
Every game?
I can't sleep after the game until I've watched it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because your adrenaline is so up, and you just think about everything that you did in it, and you think about everything that went wrong and what you could have done. So I go back and watch the entire game, and then I can go to sleep.
What is that, like on a Channel 7?
No, just on like the AFL Women's app on my phone.
Oh, he's on your app. Yep.
I'll literally I'll try and go to bed, and it could be 2 a.m. and I won't be able to sleep still. So I'll have to go on and watch the game, and then I can fall asleep.
What do you like? Do you mind dot points? Like, should have done this here, or?
Yeah, I'll probably like
really.
Any little things that I'm like, oh, that was shit, Rubes. I'll like rewind and see try and be like, what should I have done?
There was one, I think you showed me the video. You stuffed up the kick and you had to run back and get tackle. Was that right?
Yeah, chase down tackle.
Yeah, chase down tackle.
Yeah. And they put it like in like with the All Australian. They put it in like they do a highlights package. Yeah. And I was like, thank fuck. They put the tackle in there. I was like, thank God they didn't put in the shanked kick beforehand.
The shanked kick.
Oh. It was a stinker. I don't know if I kicked the ground or what happened, but I was like, thank God I caught her, because that was an open 50 and I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the coaches pump you up, or they're like, thank God you tackled her?
Yeah, I think they were like, thank God I tackled her. I was like, oh, Roofs. But yeah, no, it was not my finest moment.
That's fake, because because obviously I watch a lot of footage from what we get at the club, and I sometimes find it hard to watch AFL now, especially on the coverage, because obviously you have the TV coverage follows the football and it shows you the stoppage, but like I like sitting up and you kind of get to see the structures and how much room they get. You can tell how most of them play. They just depends if the team's in the defensive 50 and they just kind of push all their players forward and they get the run out the back. Or
you can figure out their game plans pretty quickly.
I like the ones how they do. They're kicking out the back line now, and what they do, how they set up and setting up from stoppages, and kind of interesting to see. I like it like that. And
see how teams work.
But yeah, I found it's amazing. You watch the game straight after. I understand that your adrenaline's up and you can't sleep, but you don't.
Especially after late games. Late games are the worst. Like that Carlton game, I don't think I slept till like 4.
Really?
Because we didn't get out of there till, I think the game started at 7:30 or 7:45.
Oh, that's late.
And then, so we're there till, I think we were there till 10. And then, the boys' games go for a hell of a lot longer. They've got, their 30-minute quarters. Ours is 15 minutes with time on for goals.
15 minutes? Mm-hmm. It should be longer.
Yep. 15? 16? I don't know, something like that. But then time on for goals. That game, get home, I reckon we got home at probably 10:30, 11-ish, and then you're just sitting up, going through it.